It is finally back to the studio after I had a little bit of time off over Christmas. So stick with me while I make myself a cup of tea and wander up to my studio, and I will tell you all about what I'm up to this week. So my main job for this week is to produce a new colouring page for my patrons. So this month I have picked my Mermaid jigsaw puzzle. Sadly, this design isn't sold by Ravensburger anymore. They decided not to renew it just because it didn't sell quite as well as some of the other ones I did. For some reason, this one didn't seem so available, so I think it just didn't sell as well. It's actually one of my favourites, so I'm quite enjoying doing the outlines for this one. My first step for this particular design is to draw in the bubbles. The reason I am drawing the bubbles first is because they are translucent. Any of the other line art or bits of art you see through the bubbles, I'm going to make lighter than maybe the surrounding lines. This just gives it a little bit of depth and shows that the bubbles are kind of distorting the line a little bit. This might make a little bit more sense as you see my process through the video. I do like my bubbles to be nice and round because, as you know, bubbles are quite perfect, so they need to be nice and round. So I use a little template for this, and I also simply just use coins and I draw around the coins. Just an easy way to get my circles perfect. After I have inked in all the bubbles, I then move on to inking in all the main outlines. I am using a 0.2 pigment liner pen for this. If you keep watching, you'll see my progress on the outlines. When I'm inking in line work, I actually use different weights of line. So the main outlines I'll do in a thicker pen, and then all the really fine details like maybe hairlines or little imperfections on the skin, little freckles or things like that, I will do in a much finer pen. So I tend to use sort of a 0.05 liner for that, and then 0.2 or even up to 0.5 for thicker lines or objects that are in the foreground. So you can see for this particular part of my colouring page, I've already inked in some of the main lines on the dragon's face, and I'm just going back and adding all the tiny details, little bits of shadow, freckles and scales on his skin, doing his little eyeballs. Keep watching to see me really go to town on all the detail in this image. As you can see, I am one for detail, and that's why I do sort of the really big jigsaw puzzles as well, 1,500, 2,000 pieces, because Ravensburger want the detail from me, and it is what I love doing the most. So I do pack my images with detail, and these colouring pages are, well, I don't think they're for the faint-hearted. They are quite tricky, and there is a lot of lines, and you will need a very, very sharp pencil to colour them in. Interestingly, one of the things that frustrated some of my art teachers and tutors was the amount of detail I put in images. They just said it was too much, basically. And I did learn through that sometimes a quiet area in an image is needed, although in my jigsaw puzzles, not so much, just because of how jigsaw puzzles are, and the more detail, it's kind of either makes it harder or easier to put the jigsaw puzzle together. So I have learned over the years to do a mixture of both, so perhaps toning down my detail in some circumstances and then ramping it up for others. Now, I know some of you will be saying that I could produce this much quicker on a computer or digitally or using Procreate. Well, I am not a digital artist, and even though I probably could do this, I really like hand-drawn art and the effect and just that not quite so perfectness of a hand-drawn line. So I've chosen to do it the long-winded way, as always, and I'm drawing it all by hand using Staedtler fine liners. I do, however, speed up my process in other ways, and one of these ways is by using a light box. I have to say, the fluorescent light does kind of hurt my eyes a little bit, but it does make the process a whole lot quicker as I can trace the outlines directly, which is, a great way to cut down the time that I spend on this illustration. Another great thing about this image is because I've already perfected it for my Ravensburger jigsaw puzzle design, that when I trace it, everything is where it should be, so it makes it nice and easy to retrace, and it's really nice to repurpose a design for another use. When you license an image, you often license it for more than one thing. So you might license an image for use on a puzzle or as a print or for some other purpose. So I do love a bit of reuse with my images and maximising its potential. I have a Patreon account, which is basically a membership platform that allows me to receive financial support from people that really, really love my work the most. So in return for their patronage, I put up exclusive content, so they get early access to these vlogs. They're actually sort of 4 months behind on YouTube, which not only does it give them a first look, it actually allows me to work on a piece of art, and if I have a client who doesn't want me to show it for a few months, it usually means by that time I'm allowed to show it, and therefore I can make the most of my content. Although my Patreon account is very small at the moment, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support of all my patrons. Even just having one or two that support you in that way, it's nice to know that people like your art that much that they want to see more of it and they want to help you create as well. And I never give anything out for nothing. I always try and give them something in return. Either they can learn from me as a professional artist, or they get free colouring pages, that kind of thing. And here is my colouring page, just about finished. I've just got a little bit of detail left to put onto the dragon, some scales and little details. So I hope you like it. Sadly, it has been raining pretty much all week, so I'm kind of glad I've been holed up in the studio creating. A little bit of excitement for this week is I got a package in the post, and in this package was a brand new iMac. It was very exciting, but also a little bit painful, because if you are a designer or you use a Mac, you will know how expensive Macs actually are. And I did go for an all singing, all dancing new iMac because I needed something more powerful to handle all this video footage I've been doing. I am massively trying to up my video production and make my vlogs that bit better, because I know if I make my vlogs better, I will get more views and you will appreciate them all more, hopefully. And yeah, I always go all out. So yeah, here is my brand new iMac. I have to say, the boxes that the Macs come in are very impressive. They are such good quality and so well packed. Yeah, but it is quite the effort to unpack them too. It's like a puzzle. It's like a jigsaw puzzle to get into the box. And there is no way I'm getting that Mac back in the box. So it better work, better not have any problems. And yeah, hopefully we're good to go. Hopefully I won't be waiting around for the Wheel of Death as my computer loads and processes videos, so I am really looking forward to cracking on with things at high speed and getting lots and lots and lots done. So after a bit more rain, we finally got some sunshine, which meant a spinning olive. But we won't talk about the damage. The damage is not good. It wasn't me. It happened while I was away, and it will be fixed soon. And yes, let's not talk about that rust either. That needs fixing too. Anyway, back on point. We got out and we got to enjoy some sunshine and a little trip into Newport, which is the capital of my lovely, now sunny little island. We went for a little mooch around Newport and started off with a little trip to Comic Coffee, which is a local cafe which celebrates comic books, and it's a lovely quirky little place that had a lovely hot chocolate, and it was just a nice reprieve from being at home, really. And yes, I did get cream on my nose. And to carry on the theme of comic books, we dropped into one of the local independent shops and discovered Corkhead Comics. Now, I've known about Corkhead Comics for a while, but never known really much about them. Anyway, we bumped into the creators of the comics and had a lovely chat with them. They were such nice, enthusiastic people, and honestly, some of the stuff that they've got going on is really exciting, and I can't wait to see what happens with their comic book company. So that is all from me for this week. I will be back next week with more illustration news and more fun activities to share with you. See you next week. Bye for now.